This false idea people have that when you're stalked, if the person's gone, it's gone. It's one event and it's over. That's not true.
I'll give you a bell tomorrow if that's alright, when I don't feel so knackered.
Okay, love you.
Okay, love you. See you, bye.
Bye.
Probably when I was 14. I think that's when the most happened in my life. So when things kind of happened in my life, I didn't really have that many people I could turn to, so each thing that happened was I more reflected it back on myself. I struggled with school a lot, as it was. I was an incredibly anxious and depressed person. Very depressed person. But I don't think I really knew enough about depression or anxiety to know exactly what I was feeling. I just knew that I wasn't okay and I wasn't the same as everyone else. Little things started happening, like it would start with people making fun of me, and it slowly progressed to things that were a lot worse. When I was 14, I was raped. I told a close friend of mine, believing that, they would kind of understand or not talk about it with anyone else, but that's not how it went. And then it quickly transgressed to I was the girl that lied about getting raped. I stopped going to school. I would actually run away. And because I had no one to turn to, when there was someone who talked to me, I trusted them too much.
It's like, this is the name of my project. Because...
Why the name?
Because a lot of people think, like, stalking shouldn't be perceived as romantic, or when it is by the media, it's over-romanticised. So it's like you never understand how much it is romantic and how much is manipulation. But that's kind of what coercive control is. Like, it can start with being loving, even like a normal relationship, and then it can end up with like death threats. And I think that's what happened with me. It was like false love turned into like being terrified. So that's why it's like love me now die, because it was such a harsh switch.
What is it, Omegle or Omegle?
It's Omegle.
Alright then.
Definitely Omegle.
You know what?
Omegle.
Yeah, I used to do it. Looking back now though, I'm like, that's so...
Fucked up.
Yeah, it's so perverted.
So you connect you to anyone?
Yeah. But I remember I got connected with someone who I knew.
And when I received a phone call from someone who I didn't know, I started trusting and believing them. Before I knew it, I was talking to them every night about my life and divulging information that I never should have to someone who I didn't know. And I didn't understand what coercion meant. I hadn't heard that term before. I didn't understand that people could make you do or feel certain things without actually being there. And I spent 4 months or 5 months in my house locked up on my own because I couldn't go outside because the person who I was talking to would threaten everyone who I was around. Growing up, I started to become a lot more isolated, and I started to self-harm at 14. For me, I don't remember a lot of the things that I did when I was younger, but family have told me that I did things that I couldn't even imagine myself doing even at that young.
Thinking about it, I'm not really sure if it was carved in or it was pen, on her arm and it says, "I love Joe." But no, she was openly displaying this love on her arm for a person that I later realised she didn't even know who he was.
I remember the person telling me to do loads of different things like that, but I never saw it as a bad thing. It's almost like coercion blinds you, and you could do anything, but you'll still think that it's okay and it's in your best interest no matter what it is.
But to say, like, you changed your number how many times?
Probably like, I don't know, like 30, maybe. But I've just kind
You've
of...
had 30 different numbers.
Yeah, probably. I've like given up now. I still get phone calls, as you know, and I just give up. Because...
And it wasn't me or the counsellors that managed to break it. It was Skye. But Skye isn't really Skye. Skye is Emma. My daughter is called Emma. And she decided that enough was enough, and she broke it by changing her name so that he couldn't find her.
Especially things like sexual abuse and stalking, coercion, it does take its toll on you, and there's no quick kind of fix to that, and I don't think there ever will be.
I mean, it was even like 2 weeks ago, I got more phone calls. But so it's kind of, I think it's more the fear that it's someone close to me that I think that knows who I am. Because as well, when I go back home, it's like the phone starts ringing. And then I'll leave home and it will stop. Then I go back home and the phone will stop ringing. So it's like he knows when I'm there, but I just never see him.
But if you realise that you do want help, you're already a lot closer than you think, and I think that was my kind of wake-up call, was realising I wanted to help myself first. You do have to kind of turn around and realise that you're not okay. I think it was maybe a period of 2 years where I really started to see development. I felt like my life was kind of on track at this point. I felt like everything was going well. Kickboxing was like a massive game changer for me in my life. It was the first time that I didn't feel like a weak and vulnerable individual that people could take advantage of and abuse. Coming to university kind of changed my life. I have created incredible work that even my lecturers are really proud of. And I am really proud of. It's the first time that I've looked at something I've created or done and I've fully believed that it was worth a lot. I have made friends that I completely adore, and they would do anything for me the same way I would for them. But I think the main thing I achieved was I achieved confidence in myself, and I believed in myself. I taught at a school, I got my pictures in a newspaper, I helped people through really difficult times, and I'm really proud of myself for that and where I am now.